Hello, everyone. This is Felicia Bender, the practical numerologist, with your numerology forecast for the personal year for March 2023. So, before we get off and running, I'm going to provide a little bit of bonus information as we head into the month. So, if your life path number or another of your core numbers in your numerology chart happens to be the same as your personal year number, the year is really highlighted as a very significant and special period in which you get double the pleasure, and double the opportunities, double the triggers, double the lessons, all of the things that you are working on developing and deepening with your overall life path purpose. Now, if you're new to numerology, you might not even know what your life path is. So, if that is the case, take just one moment, go down to the description box. There is a place there where that will direct you to my website. You can calculate your life path number. You could explore that. Plenty of free resources there. And if you already know your life path number, which is more likely if you are actually listening to a numerology video, this is a significant piece of information. And then if you want to take it a little bit deeper, you might want to get a full numerology report so that you can see your entire profile, right? So that you can see deeper levels of significance and nuances that might take place for you personally and individually with your numerology. Because just like astrology, we can calculate an entire chart for you about your path, your purpose, what the obstacles are, what the tendencies are, what the gifts and what the challenges might be. We can look at cycles of time, all of those things. So with this forecast, we're looking at a cycle of time, which is the personal year. And then I'm just kind of bringing your attention toward the fact that if you do happen to be, say, for instance, a 5 life path, because you're listening to this forecast for the 5 personal year. So if you are a 5 life path, it is really going to test you and to ask you to up level your life within those key elements of what you're here to do in this lifetime, what your overall path and purpose is. And this has to do with the 5, specifically with expressing your unbridled sense of freedom, with some self-discipline along the way, right? That's the key feature for the 5. It's all about tapping into your versatility while staying focused. It's about being a catalyst, being a change agent in the world, and facing and embracing your fears, having that adventurous spirit, right? Amongst many, many other things that the 5 is all about. So you can see that if you're a 5 life path, we can really convert that over to the basic elements that everyone gets to experience during a 5 personal year. But if you're a 5 life path and a 5 personal year, you're really going to get a lot of amazing opportunities to really, really align with that. The same if a 5 shows up as one of the your other more significant. Let me back up. If a 5 shows up as one of your core numbers, or in a significant placement in your chart, this will be a very nice bit of upper level information and knowledge for you to have. Again, if you want to know your entire chart, head on over to feliciabender.com. You can order a full numerology profile there. It might be the next step in your numerology adventure. Let's put it that way. So, with that said, let's just dive right into the forecast for your 5 personal year in March. It is a number 8 personal month for you. It is an 8 personal month. So, what does that mean? The reflection here, the theme, the topic for you for the entire 4-week period of March is that this really is a month to get serious about finances and really focus on expanding any career or business related activities. This also can have to do with empowerment, wherever that is needing some bolstering in your life. It could be in your relationships, it could be with your health, It could be with any other element and aspect. And yet, usually, when the eight shows up, it's also really pushing you and tweaking you in your career and financial life. So, I really kind of have to come clean with you here. While the five personal year itself really offers ample opportunities for change, for transformation, it isn't without a few what I would call kind of rough edges. Everyone thinks that the five is like this fun and this party, right? Well, there's quite a bit of velocity to be experienced during the five personal year, and it can be a little bit disorienting at times. I find that the five can feel a little overwhelming depending on how it's coming at you, right? So, numerologically speaking, these first 2 months of the year, January and February, haven't really offered the full frenetic richness that the freedom filled five brings into your world. And so, why is that? Because January was a month where responsibility was at the forefront. That was a number six. If you've been following this and looking at your forecast, you'll remember that it was a six, which is somewhat counterintuitive with the fun loving five energy that is really supporting you all year long, right? And then last month brought in that contemplative and lower energy of the seven. I don't mean lower energy, but kind of more just lower gear, right? Just a lower gear to prep you for this month for the expansion that is heading your way. So, I hope you took a few power naps last month because you're going to need them this month. Just know that you might not quite feel the full ignition of the five personal year quite yet. I find that the five personal year is one of the more significant personal years where it really ramps up. It just really begins to gain momentum and gain momentum as the year progresses. So even so, you should be feeling the energy of the change and are beginning to expect the unexpected. I hope so. It is a year to embrace all that is new and definitely a year for change, a year for transformation. And yet, that is in the percolating stage, that is in the experiment stage, that is in the come on, let's explore, let's see what's out there stage right now. So, even though there is an element of uncertainty, the month of March really pressures you to plan a definite or a more definitive goal for your advancement, and then is really demanding. I was going to say asking, but I think it's really demanding that you be resourceful enough to tweak, to adjust it along the way, because at the end of the day, you really are going to be required to have something to show for it at the end of the month and definitely at the end of the year, right? So this is just part of the entire process. I know it's kind of silly to say that, but it is true. So you have to have this part of the puzzle to make the entire puzzle come together. So understand that you are going to be required to step into your sense of self confidence and empower yourself in every way possible this month. 4 weeks of really putting it down, laying down the gauntlet. Okay, it's certainly the time to check out business and financial possibilities that might be coming your way. You are thinking finances all this month, all this month, like it or not, and even more than usual. It could be a matter of, what's going on with your job. Maybe you're scared you're going to lose your job. Maybe you want a raise. Maybe you are looking for a job. All of those things can kind of culminate this month. It's time to consider new opportunities, possibly between March 6th and the 20th, so that both these new and exciting prospects can be far more in alignment with what you really want, right? That's the whole point of this year, is to shake things out and to bring things more in alignment with some new directions that you might want to be taking. March is your month to bring out the most business-like aspects of yourself, okay? So when in doubt, just, get out the briefcase and the spreadsheet. I don't know. You know what I mean, though. And to take yourself seriously, to kind of get on your business gear and think in business-like terms, not in impulsive terms or emotional based terms, but really, really think pragmatically. What's the bottom line? How do I organize this? And this is in all elements of life. This is 4 weeks, okay? Just asking for 4 weeks. So during the week of March 14th, you're going to enjoy meeting new friends, potential business associations and associates during this time. So make sure to say yes to invitations, even if you're like, I don't know, I don't know if I want to go to that meetup or I don't, yes, just say yes, because there will be, if you just glean one thing, one friend, one idea, get yourself out there in front of just one person who's going to make a significant connection connecting point for you. It is worth it. So it is time to connect with in whatever way you can with other people, right? Get yourself out there. So overall, this is a movers and a shakers month for you. So you've got the 5 personal year that is prodding you to get out there, shake it up, bring in new people, new ideas. And this month is really focused on making that all about business. Okay. So that's how you start thinking about putting together this numerology information for you. So this is a progressive year. It's meant for stretching and enlightening you, allowing you to see yourself and the world in a bit more of an expansive way. So procrastination can be a default mechanism. So, banish that if you possibly can. I know it's easier said than done. I know it. And yet, if you're running into some struggles with this adventurous energy, that can kind of be the counterpoint. So just be aware of it and you can move past it or alleviate some of it at least. So the experience with the number 5, the vibe of your entire year of 2023, really isn't so much the wild and craziness that it can induce, even though there can be parts of that. Often the challenge really comes into play more with fears and with restrictions that come up when working with the 5, right? Because in numerology, we're always working with the opposing forces. We're always working with the opposite. So yes, the 5-year personal year is about fun, fearlessness, sensual, experiences, travel, all of those adventurous pursuits, the change elements, the being really versatile and open to things. So, what is the opposite of that? It's feeling closed off, it's feeling restricted, constrained, smothered, it's being afraid of trying something, afraid of doing something new. So, that is going to be the counterpoint all year long in your 5 personal years. So, also understand that you get to experience 2 number 8 personal months. So your month of March is an 8, and the next one shows up at the end of the year in December. So it's going to be really interesting to see if there are any parallels between what's going on for you this month in March and what transpires at the end of the year. So just keep that in a little, I don't know, your back pocket or your file folder of your mind, and see how that might play out toward the end of the year if you can see any similarities. So, since the number 5 is all about freedom through self-discipline, right? It's that constructive use of freedom. So, part of the task when engaging with that 5 is to face fears, you kind of pace yourself because the 5 has a tendency to be impulsive and blaze past or through those fears, right? It's very much like that Joseph Campbell statement. I'm not going to quote it directly or perfectly, but it's wherever your fears, whatever door your fears lie behind or are behind, you need to open that door and walk in. So that's an ongoing theme all year long. So easier said than done, and it won't feel easy peasy. And fear can show up in, I don't know, really different ways that might surprise you during a 5 personal year. So just be aware of that. You'll feel so incredibly more in line with the magic of the number 5 when you minimize distractions right now, especially from those bright and shiny objects, right? The things that are, I always think about the dogs that are walking along and then squirrel, 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 right? It's like, so that can that can come into play in a 5. So while there's something about it that is part of the 5, it's about experimenting and being curious and going different pathways. It's also about reining it in a bit, so it just so there's something to show for it, so that you have that you're not so distracted that nothing gets done. Right? You have to have some focus, some determination to create more freedom in whatever aspect of life that you are wanting to create this. And this is the month to buckle down, to get things accomplished, to be more business, more management, more organized, all of those very practical, pragmatic things that are going to be calling your name in March. So that is your forecast for the month. I'm wishing you a very happy spring. Bring it on, right? And I'm looking forward to meeting you same time, same channel, basically next month to see what April has in store for you.